Okay, so we've deployed stuff to Heroku, but it seems like we've hit a bit of a snag. Running our server now complains about not being able to find the correct Ruby version. RVM should be handling this, but it turns out that Cloud9's implementation of RVM is a bit more rudimentary than a full-fledged version, or so it would seem. For whatever reason, RVM isn't using the version that we told it to use by default. So let's add a line to a bash profile script to tell RVM to use 2.14. The bash profile script is one of those scripts that Linux runs for non-interactive terminals. We don't have one just yet, so nanoing tilde slash dot bash underscore profile, the tilde of course being a shortcut to your home directory, will show you an empty file. In it, we'll tell RVM to use the 2.1.4 version of Ruby, and in the next line, we'll tell it to also source the .profile file, which sets up the rest of our environment. We'll need to add this line in because Linux will not run profile if there is a bash profile, and since all of our environment stuff, like the prompts and the color settings and other stuff, are all in .profile, we'll need to make sure that bash profile sources that too. Let's save that and try sourcing the bash profile to make sure it doesn't give us any errors. We've got a warning here about RVM paths, but it looks like it's set up the correct version of Ruby. Let's try and open a new terminal to make sure the new terminal loads the correct version as well. Great. Looks like it gets the right Ruby loaded despite the warning. Let's try running our server. Looks like it works. Try it in a browser now, and sweet. We should now be able to continue with our development. Just a quick note. It turns out that if we start a new Rails project from Cloud9, it will use Ruby 2.1.4 by default. The reason we had to change ours here is because we cloned the project from a Bitbucket instance. What do you know? We'll continue with our development in the next video.